Now we are going to talk about ingratitude, a major deficiency in human personality, human character. To understand the difference between ingratitude and gratitude, we will listen to two interesting stories, two very interesting stories. Let's start with the first one. Vishwambar was born in a poor farmer's family. He lost his parents at an early age. As an orphan boy, Vishwambar was roaming here and there when Nityanand, an Ayurvedic doctor in the nearby village, saw him. Nityanand took pity on Vishwambar. He had no children. He decided to adopt Vishwambar. Vishwambar started growing in Nityanand's home. Nityanand took great care of him. Vishwambar grew up from a child to an adult. Nityanand got him married to a beautiful girl from another village close by. In a few days, Vishwambar's wife was able to convince him that they both should live in a different house and not in Vishwambar's father's house anymore. The henpecked husband, Vishwambar, got convinced. He went to his father and said, "Father, I have lived with you for so many years. Now allow me to become independent. I and my wife would like to stay in a separate house." Nityanand was shocked to hear this, but then he said, "Okay, son, if that is what you both want, so be it." Nityanand arranged a house for them in a different village, and both Vishwambar and his wife started living there. A few days later, Vishwambar's wife told him, "Look, your father is an Ayurvedic doctor. You have learnt a little bit Ayurveda from him. Why don't you practice Ayurveda yourself? You will have many patients." The man was convinced again. He went to his father again and said, "Father, I have learnt a little bit of Ayurveda from you. Why don't you help me set up my own clinic so that I can start treating patients?" Nityanand was happy to hear that. He said, "Sure, I will help you set up this clinic, and I will also send some of my patients to you. That will help you settle down." Vishwambar started the clinic. Nityanand also started sending some of his patients to his son's clinic. But you know what Vishwambar started doing? The ungrateful son started saying to his patients that his father Nityanand has grown old and is no longer a competent doctor. He persuaded all patients not to go to his father anymore. He also convinced them to spread the word that Nityanand has grown old and not able to treat patients properly. This spread as a word of mouth. People stopped going to Nityanand and they started coming to Vishwambar. This was the height of ingratitude. But how far one's limited knowledge can take him? Vishwambar got exposed very soon. Patients realized that Vishwambar is no way close to his father as a doctor. They were not happy with the treatment of Vishwambar. Patients stopped coming to him. His income almost became zero. His wife was very angry and upset with him, and she left him and went to her father's home. Vishwambar was dejected, disappointed. He had no money. His wife was not with him. His father was not with him. He was alone. He became mentally depressed. He developed health complications. And finally, one day he died. What a painful ending for an ungrateful man. Friends, is this just a story? Or can you relate to this? Does this happen in real life? Yes, my dear friends, this happens in real life. Ingratitude is fatal, it's deadly, it's a killer. Sri Sri Thakur Nukul Chandra says, there is hardly any sin so terrible as ingratitude. Vishwambar was such a lively example of ingratitude. Ingratitude can ruin one's life, not only one's life, but one's children, grandchildren, next generations. It is so harmful and so dangerous. It is the cause of most other sins, most other deficiencies in human character. Ingratitude leads to hypocrisy, because if one has to practice ingratitude, one has to take one's benefactor for a ride. Ingratitude leads to go between. Ingratitude leads to fault finding attitude. Ingratitude leads to inferiority complex. It leads to so many deficiencies in human character. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, when the helper is harmed by the helped, stupid pride breaks the bolt of gratitude and throws open the path of death strewn over the thorns of arrogance. While studying the literature of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, I learnt more about ingratitude than I knew before. Ingratitude is not just about forgetting somebody who has helped you or forgetting somebody's good deed for you. It is also about forgetting the source and being grateful to the medium. Let me explain this with an example. For example, a friend of mine has introduced me to a person who could solve a problem of mine. Now I am very grateful to this person who solved my problem. But I have now completely ignored and forgotten the friend of mine who introduced me to this person. He is the source. This person is the medium. I am grateful to the medium, but I have forgotten the source. I am demonstrating ingratitude. Let's look at another scenario of ingratitude. When somebody helps us, and if you forget that, of course, that is ingratitude. But if we have helped somebody and we remember that, that is also ingratitude. If I take help from somebody, I should never forget. But if I help somebody, I should not keep that in my mind. I should not keep repeating to myself that I have helped this guy. This guy must be loyal to me. This guy must help me in return. This guy must respect me. If I'm harboring such thoughts in my mind, I am practicing ingratitude. But what is the cause of ingratitude? Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, undue allurement invites ingratitude. When we develop temptation, allurement, unduly, that takes us on the path of ingratitude. For the sake of our allurement, temptation, we do not stop ourselves from harming those who have helped us. Ingratitude is a large subject. It's a serious topic. We'll break it up into two parts. Today we talked about how ingratitude can be harmful. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to overcome ingratitude, or rather, how to develop gratitude, how to become grateful. Remember, at the beginning I said we'll listen to two stories. We have just listened to one story so far. The second story is in the second episode. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about ingratitude and our journey towards gratitude. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.